Hi everybody, my name is Yuko and I am a happiness promoter and a student of A Course in Miracle, and I hope you are having an amazing day in New York. This is a glorious day after the crazy heat wave, so I am so happy that weather it's beautiful. So in thorough and a little quick review and any takeaway that I'm experiencing so that I can share it with you guys. Awesome, Course in Miracle. Here it goes. So, today we're talking about lesson 72 in the workbook. And so, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. So, we'll be talking about salvation and grievances and how God doesn't want us to be sick. He doesn't want us to be like sad that both us and God wants us to be happy and healed and blessed and abundance, right? So we've been talking about that, and today we're talking about holding grievances and attack on God's plan for salvation. And what I highlighted, as I always do, right? So I always mark wherever that's talking to me and said that our goal is, so there's like a longer period exercise and the shorter period exercises, that our goal in the longer practice period today is to become aware of God's plan for salvation has already been accomplished in us. To achieve this goal, we must replace attack with acceptance. As long as we attack it, we cannot understand what God's plan for us is. We're therefore attacking what we do not recognize. Now we're going to try to lay judgment aside and ask what God's plan for us is. And because A Course in Miracle uses a slightly different definition than the traditional Christianity terminology, certain definitions are different, right? And I just noticed that a few weeks ago, and if you are not sure of those definitions or what that is, and I'm still learning it, I'm still going through it. So if you have a question, comment below so I can share the link with you. Uh, I really like the exercise that's following after this is that what we are supposed to be doing is really to ask. If we don't know what that is, ask. Right? What is the salvation, Father? I do not know. Tell me, and I may understand. What is the salvation? And salvation could look like one thing for you, one thing for me. It doesn't matter how it looks like to one another, but the ultimate goal is to really connect with God and going back to where He is. At least that's my take. And when I was doing this exercise earlier, I closed my eyes, right? Typical meditation style, and said, "What is salvation, God? Please tell me." And even it's said in this book, in this chapter, is that you're quiet for supposed to be quiet for 1 to 2 minutes, and I noticed myself trying to come up with an answer, trying to ask that question repeatedly rather than trying to be still so I can listen. So I'm like, I'll be asking question, what is the salvation, God? Pause, pause, pause. What is the salvation, God? Pause, pause, pause. And I just keep repeating it to myself without giving him a space to answer, right? Or if I don't give him a space to answer, how am I going to listen, or how is he going to answer that? So I try to have the pause, try to listen and say like, what is the salvation, God? Tell me. And it took a long time. It took quite a while for me to really feel okay with the space, because the empty, quotes and quotes, empty space could feel like such an uncomfortable thing, right? Being able to spend time just by yourself is uncomfortable for some people because we reach for the phone, we reach for the TV, we reach for whatever it is that we can distract ourselves with. And so, can you be ourself? Can I be myself? Be with myself for in the still moment. It's a challenge. It's not always easy, especially when I'm go go go, or when I'm always on the social media and not having the pause for myself. And that's the time when I get really caught up in trying to find the answer outside, trying to find the how outside, trying to find the things to do rather than come still and connect. So it took me a while, and after that it said, forgive. Okay. And what does it look like? I don't know. But forgive, like a forgive came, right? And after forgive, there was an acceptance. And after the acceptance, there was an embrace. Those three things came up for me. That was my salvation. The forgive, accept, and embrace. Those three things came up. And holding grievances attack on God's plan for salvation. So anything that I'm holding against, anything that I'm holding against grudges or sadness, loneliness, expectations, or anticipation, right? Or the idea of how things should look like or should not look like, all these things are preventing me from His plan of forgiveness, acceptance, and embrace, ultimately to really be with the bliss and the blessing that I could possibly receive, right? So I think it is a good practice not only for me to really remember this lesson of holding grievances attack on God's plan for salvation, not only to remember this, but it is also good practice for me to really be still with myself. Ask and let the answer come up. Ask and let the answer come up, rather than trying to find the answer, rather than trying to go dig inside and like force things to happen. Because sometimes it's just as simple as letting things come up, right? So I want you to think about that. If you have any comment, or any questions, or I do not agree with you, comment right there or send me a message and let's connect. All right. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you have a glorious weekend. All right. I love you.